Okay, here we are back at T-Pose Am Jesus Christ. We've been playing for 16 hours. We just went through the Garden of Gethsemane and some other weirdness that was unbiblical, even from a Christian perspective. And anyway, we're going to continue, try to get this ordeal over with, right?
See how easily we turned.
They sure love to use Satan in these things.
You'll die, deceiver.
And you dare call yourself a prophet? Look how you stagger. And you claimed Father was with you.
Look how Satan
No
sounds
one
like
will
a
help
Brit.
you.
Was it raining? Really?
Can't you even save yourself?
That's how false prophets end.
You wanted so badly to save me. And cheer when you stumble.
Like I said in the last episode, I'm supposed to tap it? Like Christianity really
If you
gets
truly
off
are
on
the Son
Satan.
of God, prove it now.
He saved others, but he can't save himself.
This isn't the path of a king, Jesus. It's the path of a defeated man.
Am I supposed to
Where are
tap
your
D?
miracles now, prophet of Galilee?
Save yourself if you really have power.
I mean, it's a valid argument. Who's that, his mother?
I'm here, son.
Yeah, it's Mary.
I will not turn away.
If you truly are the Son of God, prove it now!
Look, Mother, I'm making all things
Get
new.
away from him!
Leave me alone.
Stone him!
You are a false prophet.
Yeah, so where are all his
He is no Messiah.
See?
57,000
Their faith was
followers?
fragile.
Where are they?
So fragile, a single accusation shattered it.
He's a
Blasphemer.
liar, not a prophet.
Away with him!
Let
Get out
him
of our
suffer
town.
for his lies. Let him be punished.
You know, if the Sanhedrin was officiating as portrayed, then
There. Stop staring and help him with the cross.
I don't know him.
And I...
You'll get to know each other on the way to the gate. Now go on, move!
Then the Jewish populace would not be throwing stones at him,
I just want to get to the other side.
because it's only after he's
Faster you
condemned by
help,
the
faster you'll
Sanhedrin.
get there.
Your body cracks, and I'm waiting for your will to crack with it.
You wanted to save others, but you can't even save yourself?
This is your end, Nazarene.
Where's Simon now? Oh, Simon's carrying the other side of it?
Look at their faces, Rabbi. So much anger. Are they really worth this?
You said you were the Son of God. So where is he now to help you?
This is no triumph of justice, Jesus. Just a crowd craving someone to blame.
You dare call yourself the King of the Jews? Where is your throne then?
This is no sacrifice. This is defeat. Your defeat.
You're pathetic. No one will help you now.
Pull harder. Just a little more. Good. Leave it. So what? Where is your God now?
So, it should be noted that the real history of the first century is not that of one Jew being crucified. During the first century, Roman forces crucified thousands of Jews with spikes of mass executions during revolts. Notably in AD 7, 2,000 were crucified in Jerusalem. During the AD 70 siege of Jerusalem, Titus crucified roughly 500 Jews daily, leading to a shortage of space and wood for crosses, totaling tens of thousands throughout the conflict. So this picture of this one Jew being crucified is like a conflation of all of the Jews that the Romans crucified, and not because the Jewish leadership wanted it, but because the Romans wanted it.
No one will help you! If you are the Messiah, save yourself and us! Do something, if you have the power!
Do you not even fear God now? We are suffering justly, but this man has done nothing wrong.
Are you sure about that? If he's punished like us, he can't be innocent!
Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom.
Truly, I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise.
So yeah, the Jay's Witnesses, they prefer translation, truly I tell you today, or today I truly tell you, you will be with me in paradise. They object to the idea that today you will be with me in paradise. But anyway, I've not heard these names of Gestus and Dismas before. They're not in the Gospels. Yeah, here it is. Dismas and Gestus are the traditional names given to the two thieves crucified along Jesus, although these names do not appear in the Bible. Dismas, the penitent thief on the right, asked Jesus for mercy and was promised paradise, while Gestus on the left mocked Jesus. Their names originate from the 4th century apocryphal Gospel of Nicodemus. Or Dismos and Demos, and Gestus or Gesmos. First appeared in the apocryphal Acts of Pilate and Gospel of Nicodemus, written centuries after the crucifixion. In Christian tradition, Dismas represents repentance and salvation at the end of life, often associated with the Greek word dismay, sunset or death. Other traditions, the Arabic infancy gospel refers to them as Titus and Dumachus. Isn't that interesting? Dumachus or Domitian, maybe? Dumachus. Titus and Dumachus are the names given in the apocryphal Syriac infancy gospel to the two thieves, traditionally Dismas and Gestus, crucified alongside Jesus. The narrative portrays Titus as the good thief who showed mercy to the Holy Family, while Dumachus was his impenitent companion. According to the Arabic infancy gospel, while fleeing to Egypt, Mary and Joseph were held up by robbers, including Titus and Dumachus. Titus stopped his companions from harming the Holy Family and even paid Dumachus to let them pass, for which Mary thanked him. the infant Jesus prophesied that 30 years later he would be crucified with them, Titus on his right and Dumachus on his left. So this shows that these Gospels are written retroactively with prophecies that would be fulfilled by events that had already taken place. Here's an example of it. The crucifixion. In the tradition, Titus becomes the penitent thief, St. Dismas, who defends Jesus, while Dumachus represents the impenitent thief who mocks him. The story is not in the Bible, but is an addition from early Christian Apocrypha. So if you haven't been following this series, this walkthrough or playthrough of this gospel-themed game, I've been saying that Jesus is a literary disguise for Titus Flavius.
Can't you even save yourself?
You're pathetic. No one will help you now.
Behold, your son.
There's Mary and John.
Behold, your mother.
So let me stop there, because now here, Jesus, Titus, is saying to Mary, behold your son, and to John, behold your mother, and it's like typically understood that John would become Mary's caretaker upon Jesus's passing, even though Mary is supposed to have had other sons. So that doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense, but whatever. But it makes more sense if you understand, or like you go along with my theory that Mary is not an actual person, but rather a symbol of the temple, because none of the temple rituals are possible without the ashes of the red heifer. And I believe the red heifer to be a commemoration of Miriam, the sister of Moses. Miriam being the same name from which we get Maria, Mary, in Greek. So, and there's like a whole lot of literature that suggests this. It's not, I'd say a whole lot of Christian literature that suggests this. I'm not sure if there's anything in Flavius Josephus that suggests this, or anything in the Jewish oral tradition that suggests this. If there is, I haven't come across it yet, probably due to my lack of study, because there's quite a lot of Jewish literature to be studied, and I've read the Mishnah, and I've read I think 2 or 3 tractates of the Talmud, maybe, but I mean, there's a lot more than that could be studied. So, and like the Midrashic literature, I don't think I've read much of that at all.
God has abandoned you, liar!
So Mary and Martha, I think, are supposed to be here. I'm not sure. And it would be nice if Mary Magdalene was here, but I'm not sure if she's here, unless that's her right there, acting all freaky. So what am I supposed to do now? Oh, I'm supposed to commend my spirit to Vespasian the Father.
Too early for a storm, isn't it?
Well, so now there's going to be a storm?
It is finished.
Well, that didn't take long.
Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. Truly, this man was the Son of God.
So typically, in Judaism, if you're Jewish, before you die, you say the Shema. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. Where's the sound effects here? Oh, there was, yeah, I think there was supposed to be an earthquake in the Gospels when this happened. So now I've heard one teaching, but are we going to get any sound?
After the Sabbath, at dawn on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb.
Well,
there was a violent earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven and, going to the tomb, rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothes were white as snow. The guards were so afraid of him that they shook and became like dead men.
That's
the
just
angel
like
said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here. He has risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has risen from the dead and is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him." When he had led them out to the vicinity of Bethany, he lifted up his hands and blessed them. While he was blessing them, he left them and was taken up into heaven. Then they worshipped him and returned to Jerusalem with great joy, and they stayed continually at the temple, praising God.
Is that it? What is this, a recap? Are these supposed to be the credits? This is bizarre. I wonder if that's a bug that we can't hear any noise. And there's no credits, so what's the deal? I mean, it was only 16 hours of gameplay, so it's not like we've forgotten it already. So I missed this comment. I missed some comments there at the end because I was interrupted and I've forgotten what I was going to say. But you see that you see the three crosses at the end. Now that could be Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. the three of the Roman Flavian dynasty, the Roman Flavian Trinity, if you will. Or it could be Titus with Simon and John, the two resistance fighters. It says continue story. But it's taking me back to the main menu. Why would it do that? Anyway, that ending was really strange. They need to tie that up better somehow. Anyway, if you want a better idea of the real issues of the first century, then you'll want to read Flavius Josephus's The Wars of the Jews. You know, at least from, I'd say, probably from 60 CE onwards. And if you want to see how the Gospels can be read intertextually alongside Flavius Josephus to decode what is really going on in the Gospels, then you can learn about how to do this from Joseph Atwill's book, Caesar's Messiah, which, from what I understand, is not easy to get your hands on for, like, I guess there are so few copies now, it costs more to get it. A lot more? I don't know. I haven't really looked at it because I think I've got a copy somewhere, and once you learn the method, then you don't have to kind of like lean on his book. Plus, you can watch the documentary that's on YouTube. There's a Caesar's Messiah documentary, which is about an hour, or I think an hour and a half long. And you can get an idea about it from there. But really, to grasp this, you really have to be fluent in the Gospels, and you have to, I think, have read Flavius Josephus's The Wars of the Jews critically. Then once you've done that, you'll be able to see it better. But if you're one of these Christians who's never read Flavius Josephus, you're probably not going to get it, because, you know, you might be one of these one-book Christians who has no idea about the historical context of the first century. You don't have any idea about any of the issues going on with the canonicity of the New Testament, or what's going on with the Dead Sea Scrolls, or, you know, the Gnostic literature, or for example, the works that were included in the earliest existing manuscripts, I think, of the so-called New Testament, like the Shepherd of Hermas and the Epistle of Barnabas, and the Didache, otherwise known as the Teaching of the 12 Apostles to the Nations. You've really got to start reading some of the relevant contemporaneous literature and realize that this digital thinking of canonical, not canonical, is not really helpful. It, especially when you think like some of the books included in the so-called New Testament canon are reliable and dependable and authoritative. Like, for example, the letter of Jude. But then the letter of Jude depends on First Enoch and possibly the ascension of Moses, or the assumption of Moses, as dependable, authoritative, and reliable, and yet it's not included in your canon, along with the Shepherd of Hermas and the Epistle of Barnabas and the teaching of the 12 apostles to the nations. And I think the Book of Jubilees is also found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, if I remember correctly. I can look that up right now. The Book of Jubilees is like an additional book, the way it's presented, an additional book of the Pentateuch. Yes, the Book of Jubilees was found up among the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Dead Sea Scrolls, by most scholars, are dated earlier than the Gospels. At the latest, like contemporaneous to the Gospels. Multiple Hebrew fragments of the text were discovered in Qumran Caves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 11, indicating it was highly regarded and heavily used by the sectarian community that produced the scrolls, often cited as the third most common non-canonical work after First Enoch. So, I mean, there's an awful lot that a Christian can get educated about, and it'll help them see that the only people who were wanting a new covenant, the way the Christian scriptures present it, were Gentiles and maybe seriously backslidden Jews at best. And maybe I'm not even really describing them. Maybe I'm describing them too kindly. Because the invention of Christianity is really a betrayal. It would be a betrayal of your fellow Jews. But this stuff didn't come from Jews. It came from Romans. The Roman Flavians were the ones in power at this time. They're the ones who destroyed the temple, and they continued their war against the Jews by inventing this religion as an anti-Jewish propaganda. And it's been very successful at inoculating Gentiles against the Jewish people, programming them against the Jewish people. And then Islam is partially derived from Christianity and its anti-Semitisms. So then another world religion was invented, Islam, that has bedeviled the Jewish people during the last 1,500 years or so, speaking about Islam. So really these two religions are a crime against the Jewish people, and the Roman Flavians are the ones to blame. And you could say, well, the whole reason the Romans went to invade Galilee and Judea and destroy the temple was because of Jewish rebellion. But you can read in Flavius Josephus, it is admitted that the Romans provoked the Jews to that war. And the Roman Flavians seem to have had some motives for engaging in that war. Mostly the Romans got wind of how much you could call it treasure if you want to, but how many donations were brought to the temple by Gentile pilgrims. The temple had this massive court of the Gentiles, so that Gentiles were involved in this messianic religion of Judaism. And like if we let's see, yeah, and this is quoted multiple times in this game. Mark chapter 11, verse 17. And he taught and said to them, "Is it not written, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations, but you have made it a den of robbers." Now, cross-references, of all nations the house of prayer, all nations the house of prayer, or and a house of prayer for all nations. So, let's see. It says 1 Kings chapter 8. And 41 through 48. So this is Solomon's benediction, a good saying over the temple. So 41 through 48, Revised Standard Version. Likewise, when a foreigner who is not of thy people Israel comes from a far country for thy name's sake, the Creator's name, not the name of Jesus, for they shall hear of thy great name and thy mighty hand, and of thy outstretched arm, when he comes and prays towards this house. Hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and do according to all for which the foreigner calls to thee, in order that all the peoples of the earth may know thy name and fear thee, as do thy people Israel, and that they may know that this house which I have built is called by thy name. Isaiah 56:7. Starting in verse 6, here in the prophet Isaiah, "And the foreigners who join themselves to the Creator, to serve him, to love the name of the Creator, and to be his servants, everyone who keeps the Sabbath and does not profane it, and holds fast my covenant, these I will bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices will be accepted on my altar, for my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples." So you see that, this picture of things before Jesus being the situation being something that kept non-Jews or non-Israelites from worshiping the Creator, like somehow they were barred from worshiping the Creator. That's not the reality at all. That's not the historical reality. But it's kind of been made the reality because of the invention of Christianity and its idolatry, and also the bloodthirsty religion of Islam. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered to you, the rams of Nebaioth shall minister to you, they shall come up with acceptance on my altar, and I will glorify my glorious house. So it says, "And multitudes of camels shall cover you, the young camels of Midian and Ephah, all those from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and frankincense, and shall proclaim the praise of the Creator." These are non-Israelite people. In verse 5, it makes it even more clear. Then you shall see and be radiant, your heart shall thrill and rejoice, because the abundance of the sea shall be turned to you. The sea is often described as a symbol of mankind. The wealth of the nations shall come to you. So these non-Israelite people would come willingly bringing their offerings to the Creator. So that's the reality before the Romans created Christianity. But it's been Christianity that has programmed Gentiles who really don't know any better against the Jewish people. You know, well-meaning Gentiles who want to worship the biblical deity, but are programmed against doing so in reality by this Christian myth. where one Jew being crucified is such a big deal, but the thousands of Jews that were crucified in the first century and during the siege of Jerusalem are really not such a big deal. Like, they deserved it somehow. Like, the ones in AD 7 somehow deserved it, and then the ones in AD 70 somehow deserved it, you know, because the Jews always get blamed for everything. They get blamed for things that Gentiles do. They get blamed for things that they do. If one Jew commits a sin, all Jews get blamed for it. This is something that Anne Frank wrote about in her diary. And you can see it in operation today. People who are like intellectual adolescents, they begin questioning things instead of just taking everything at face value. And then they think that just because they have started to question things, that now all of a sudden they know everything. Just like they did when they accepted everything at face value and thought they knew everything then. So the intellectual adult questions even the things that they presently believe so that they can confirm what they believe. And I think it even says that somewhere in the Christian scriptures. But I think is it prove all things? To show thyself approved? Isn't that in the Christian scriptures? Prove all things, to show thyself approved in the New Testament. Yeah, 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15 in the King James Version. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. This is the duty, at least one of the duties, of every Christian. But do they do it? Like, if they were really doing it, then they would be questioning the Christian myth itself to find out if it was really true. And I suggest that they would find out that it wasn't. And so then they might actually find out that, you know what, the Jews have been trying to tell them the truth all along, but they've been programmed against listening to anything a Jew says. So anyway, I'll stop here. That's the end of this game, apparently. I could try clicking continue story and see what it does. It might just play the scenes at the end. Or start the whole thing all over again. Oh, okay, it's the last scene. Anyway, so, I can just save and quit there. So if you've been watching, thanks for plodding along with me. I was really impressed with the technology in this game. I was not impressed by lots of the dialogue. I mean, there's a whole lot of material that they could have used and placed better, positioned better, in the Christian Gospels. And they added a whole bunch of contrived nonsense, kind of like Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ. I'm not sure what their sources are on some of this stuff, and they really seem to engage in a whole lot of Satan fetishism near the end of this game. Like he was really annoying there at the end, like some smug British guy. But yeah, I want to reinforce the point that Satan being the bad guy doesn't prove that Jesus is the good guy. It's still very possible that both Satan and Jesus are the bad guy, and that Jews are the good guy.